This is what I want the opening for this one to be. I'll be like this. Okay, babe, go ahead. I'm ready. Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Considering how crazy the world is outside. Welcome to Debt After Dark, episode 3 or 3 or 3. However you do 3.
I do it like this.
I do 3 like this.
I do it like this.
Like 3.
3.
Today we are talking about the Debt Snowball. So we've mentioned this in our past 2 videos, but today we're gonna like dive deep into it. Not too deep, this video isn't gonna be as long as our other ones, but we're just gonna show you what it looks like to navigate to the Debt Snowball.
Yeah, so the Debt Snowball is step 2 of Dave Ramsey's plan. Let's actually just take out the laptop and then we'll kind of go through what the Debt Snowball looks like in real time.
Sure.
So if you can see here, we highlighted on the budget sheet, on the mock budget sheet that's available for download on our channel. So we have here on the right all of our debts listed from smallest to largest. So we have the 2 credit cards and the 3 loans. Now this is the debt listed by total amount, not listed by minimum payments. The minimum payments, as you can see on the left side, is highlighted as well in yellow. So what the Debt Snowball is, you're going to be paying the minimum payments on all of the debts, attacking the smallest one the hardest. So I guess, for example, if you can see here, so credit card 1, you have $100 minimum payment, credit card 2, $50 minimum payment, student loan 1, $350, student loan 2, $350, student loan 4, $400. So you're going to be paying the minimum payments on all, and any extra money that you're getting, let's say if you're doing a side job, any side hustles, if you're able to, cut things on your budget that you didn't need before, I think that's a great time to kind of really analyze the budget and see what you can cut out. You just really attack hard the first one. So the Debt Snowball really starts happening once you pay off this first credit card. So let's say you pay off this first credit card, it's $650 in 3 months because you got some extra cash. Excellent. Now, this is where the Debt Snowball really starts to gain traction, because this $100 minimum payment, you're gonna add this to what is the next debt. Credit card 2 has $4,500. You're gonna add this onto the payment of credit card 2. So instead of paying the minimum of $50, now you have the 100 plus the 50. Now you're paying $150 a month towards the $4,500, paying it that much faster. Now the cool thing about this is once you get to that 3rd or 4th debt, so if you see here, let's say you're paying the $150 to credit card 2, this gets paid off as opposed to just paying the minimum 50. Now you're paying it off in probably half the time. And you're gonna start getting excited because you checked off that first one. Okay, so that's 1 step closer. So now I'm up to the $4,500.
Yeah.
And then just to roll one more time so you can kind of see what the traction is. Now you're going, man, how am I ever gonna pay off $10,500? That's a lot of money. So student loan 1, if we see here, the minimum payment is $350. Now we're not only gonna be paying $350 because now we have the extra 100 and now we have the extra 50. So $350, $450, $500 a month goes towards that $10,500, just getting that snowball moving and really paying off this debt that much faster. That's essentially the method of the Debt Snowball, I think. So Dave Ramsey actually teaches the Debt Snowball, and there's another method of paying off debt, is the debt avalanche, I think what they call it. Mm-hmm. So I'm I guess the nerd of the two, and I really wanted to see is the Debt Snowball the fastest way to pay off debt, because my goal is to get out of debt the quickest.
Right.
Now, Dave Ramsey always mentions, getting in debt is not a math problem, it's an emotional problem. Like if it was a math problem, you would have never gotten into debt in the first place.
Right.
Essentially, if it's a math problem, buy stuff.
Right. You know where your money's going.
Right.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah. You know where your money's going. Like, don't use more than what you have. Essentially,
Right.
that's the math problem. You're in debt. You didn't use math. It's
Right.
it's an emotional attachment.
Right.
So the debt avalanche is essentially paying from the highest interest down. Now, let's say you have the $20,000 student loan as the highest interest, and that's the first one that you're gonna tackle. It's gonna take you a little while. So the cool thing about the debt snowball, and I think what we both like about it, is that you start knocking out those small debts and you get the small wins.
Right.
And you really get that rolling. You knock off credit card 1, check. You knock off credit card 2, $100, check. And now you see on your budget sheet 3 little green marks, 4 green marks that you've paid off things, and I don't know, you just get really excited.
It's like
to pay off
motivation,
that. Yeah.
honestly. I think more than anything, at least for me, since I'm more of the spender, I'm the free spirit, I'm the one that's like the compulsive buyer. For me, it's like I need little wins like that in order to keep me paying off my debt.
Yeah, that is I think the cool thing about it is we had this conversation the other day that we were looking our last little budget meeting that we had. Our next debt that we're going to start tackling is my $10,000 Iron Hack loan, and it seemed crazy. I said, man, it's gonna take us forever to pay it off. And you know, the nerd that I am, I whipped out the calculator and I said, okay, we've paid off 3 cards. If I add the $375 minimum for the Iron Hack alone, plus the 3 cards that we've paid off, so I mean, we're paying, I think it was like $725 a month to Iron Hack alone from our money that's already accounted for. That's nothing extra.
Right.
So if we make, you know, an extra $1,000 that month off like a side hustle or something, I mean, I'm paying $1,750 to a $10,000 loan. You know, that alone, and I told her, I said, you know, this $10,000 loan is 6 months, 5 months, done. And now we have another $10,000 loan that we're gonna start tackling. So, I mean, now you're talking about $2,000 a month.
Yep.
You know, so that's another 5 months. So you're telling me I can pay off 20 grand in 10 months? Like that's really the power of the snowball. And that's why we like it better than the avalanche. And I think that's why Dave Ramsey also teaches the debt snowball. And I think a lot of what he teaches is like little wins. Just to kind of,
very emotional.
Right, he's ready to get you like emotionally invested in your money.
For sure.
Like, just let's get the little wins out of the way. Let's start feeling better about money, and I think that's what we want to relay to you, because that's kind of how we learned it as well.
Yeah, I think, you know, ultimately, I think if you're in debt, it's because you didn't really know what you were doing with your money, right? So, like, I would say, like, well, if you're good with your money, then go ahead and, you know, do the debt avalanche if that's what works for you. By all means, like, we don't have the right answer. You know what I mean? We're coming to you with what we've learned and what's working for us and what, like, we have seen work for other people. That doesn't mean that the debt avalanche doesn't work for other people, but what we're teaching and what we've been taught is the debt snowball. So I 100% agree that it's like all about the emotional wins. I'm a very emotional person, so like when we cross out a debt, when I closed my first credit card, I was like, oh my god, like I cut out that card, I threw it out, I was like, such a good feeling, good feeling. But yeah, for sure, it's definitely an emotional thing.
Yeah, I think to tie the emotional thing, like we have a community at church, our financial peace community, and we're sharing all the time. You know, and that's something we want to do with you guys as well. Share those little wins with each other. Get excited. Like, hey, I paid off my first $100 debt. I paid off my first $200 debt, and everybody kind of cheers each other on. And I think that's what's really motivated us. Oh yeah. And that's another reason why we make these videos. It's just another extra emotional motivation when we start paying off those things.
Yeah. Also, just like when you start sharing your story with people, people start feeling like they're not alone. And like, we're not alone in this financial struggle. Like, so many of us signed on the dotted line to get a credit card before we knew what the heck that meant, and signed student loans before we knew what that meant. And like, we didn't think about having to pay that money back, you know? We were like, oh, well, I'll do it later. Like, I'll definitely get a job right out of college, and I'll be making exactly the money that I want. Like, spoiler alert, most likely not gonna happen. But don't get discouraged, guys. Like, this debt snowball works.
And I'll say it again, and I think I mentioned it last video. The budget is everything.
Yes.
You start on the budget. Step 1, save your $1,000. Step 2, debt snowball. So then step 3, which we're going to talk about in our next video, is going to be 3 to 6 months expenses. So we'll dive deeper into step 3 in our next video.
Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We are so appreciative of any and all views that we get, any and all comments, any and all shares,
interactions,
anything. We love it. We really do. It feels so good to see people that we know and people that we don't know liking, commenting, sharing. So please do that. You know, like if you liked it, like it like with the button, with the thumbs up. We just want to share to the people, you know, that this is an awesome way to tackle life with your finances. So like, subscribe, comment, share. Tell us how much debt you're in or how much debt you've gotten out of. Did you download our sheet? We want to know that.
Comment below.
We love you guys so much. Bye.